What is going on, everybody? 2Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks because we got not one, not two, but three prize walls going down at reset over the past 2 weeks, the past 12 days. There's been 12 Jeys of Christmas. There have been stocking stuffer blitzes. There have been presents all the way throughout all 12 days. And week number 2 gave us candy canes. So lots of prize walls to go through. Hysterically enough, though, even though there's 3 prize walls, there's really not a whole lot of items. So let's go ahead and start with probably the weakest of the bunch. That is the stocking stuffer blitz prize wall. So you're going to notice here there's a bunch of freebie characters. Brutus Creed, Batista, Kyrie, Tori Wilson. I'm at 8,100 stockings, by the way, just for clarity's sake. You did get 3 blitz tickets each and every single day, and that got you 300 prize wall. So that's where we're at on that, because the tickets didn't come out during the weekend event, I think. So I'm just sitting at about 8,100. There was not enough to get the final boss. There's just barely enough to get Hall of Fame Tori. So again, freebie characters, not really great. I'm sure a lot of you know I do enjoy Batista Bomb. He's fantastic. Kyrie Sane with an LA Knight plate, awesome. Tori Wilson might help you for the Hall of Fame month coming up in January. Again, no insider information. That's just what Hall of Fame month has been. Final boss poster is if you purchased more Blitz tickets and feel the need to get him, sure, by all means, he's been available. You can get more Santa gift bags, which has presents in them. There is also the 8-moment token moment, the Summer of Champions 24, with Batista, May, Maxine, and Ilya in it. This is one of the tokens for 2,800. That's probably your best bet here if you don't have that moment. Another Insatiable Hunger skill plate, 6 or more road breaks gives you 50% gem damage for 1 turn. The RK Overload plate, which was $100 upon release and has been significantly cheaper because they realized that there's next to nobody that will utilize this plate. Breaking 4 or more purple gems increases your yellow gem damage by 50% for 2 turns. The bonus is weak, and the trigger on it is so odd. 6-star gold tokens also available here. Not really a great deal when you're talking about how much they cost and only getting 2 of them. There's 50% gem damage straps for a modern character, but you gotta roll the class. Same with the move damage, you gotta roll the class. 50%ers at this point in the game are not great, just to put it very kindly. There's strap parts, metal bits, training points, and coins, TP and coins. So it's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have the moment, take the moment token. If you feel the need to pick up one of these characters, by all means, go for it. These straps are not worth the investment on it. I would almost sincerely suggest to you to just pick up a bunch of econ here, is what they've coined it. Whether it's metal bits, strap parts, TP, or coins, whatever you're feeling the need for. I myself will be getting 5 of these Santa gift bags just so I can pick up some more presents, because that is another prize wall that we're going to go into. So let's go ahead and pick up 2 Bob's choices here. So the first bag, of course, gives us the bare minimum of 150. Not surprised there, 1 bit. 200. Yeah, I would be lucky to get 1,000 out of all of these combined, is what I figured. We got 175, another 200. And last but not least, another 175. So we actually didn't even get 1,000. We ended up getting 900 presents for investing about 1,000 prize wall there. So pretty weak stuff, to be honest with you. But what I'm sitting on now is 7,100 left. Let's see, we got 99 times 30 is 2970. So 4950 to clean up all the coins and TP. And 960 to clean up all the strap parts and metal bits. So that's about that's just shy of 6,000. Yeah, I mean, we would have just under 1,200 left. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up, I guess, claiming all these items here. I'm gonna get 2 sets of the 6-star gold tokens, and then I'm going to clean everything else up here on the econ for myself. The 50%ers don't cut it for me. Another one of the plates that I have multiples of doesn't make or break anything for me, and I've got the moment, so no real need there. I'm going to cut this out. We're not even going to make a montage of it, but I will just show you the total count at the end on each item. All right, so that was about 4 minutes of clicking things, but we got all the Santa's gift bags. As you can see, we picked up 2 of the 6-star gold tokens. And I went ahead, picked up all the strap parts, all the TP, all the coins, and all but 1 of the metal bit offers. We are down to 6 stockings left from all of that stuff for the stocking prize wall. All right, next up, the present prize wall. So the presents for the 12 days of Jay. If you got 100,000 of them, you too can walk away with a 6-star gold Jey Uso. However, I'm sure that if you have 100,000, you probably already have Jey Uso by now. That's kind of hand in hand. If you spent that much to get that many presents, you probably have to spend that much to get far enough into the contest that you already would have Jey Uso. Outside of Jey Uso, there is a Tech Miz, which is a pretty common drop in loots nowadays. Tech Mae Young, also relatively common. All of the A-tier superstars, right? So A-tier Miz Chase, A-tier May Chase, A-tier Rabbit Chase. Not bad additions to the roster. None of them really game-changing in terms of trainer or coach ability. May is arguably up there for one of the top technician females in the game. Miz is easily one of the hardest hitting technicians in the game, but he can cascade, so it kind of pulls away from how much people like using him in feud. Great for boss. Rabbit, very good for our current meta of 6-star gold with how much damage he can do. Even post 99 MP, should be pretty smooth sailing for 60 to 70 million damage on the move side of things. But after that, I mean, kind of just falls off, so wouldn't really suggest getting any of them. End is near. Cross is really just a CSS. He's not good. There's really no way to spin that one. Final Testament Razor, he's typically available in the month-long 6-star gold pulls, so I would not suggest going after him. Same with Sonya, 6-star gold. She is also pretty common in the 6-star gold loot pulls. Whether she's at bronze, silver, or gold is a different story, but she's pretty commonly available. Then you get to the more uncommon side of things. Brett, the S-tier Brett, pretty solid, especially with gear and the Ninja Turtles these days for entourage abilities. Should have a video coming out on him relatively soon here. Hopefully some gameplay videos that I can schedule in the near future, and he should be one of them. He's also got a nice coach, 35% yellow gem, green gem, and multiply gem damage. He's not as good as any one of the zombies because they're 60 and 40%, but he is pretty solid for both yellow, green, and for multi if you don't have any of those zombies. So not bad from like an all-around perspective. Decent coach, decent fighter. He's not going to end up changing much for your roster in terms of like, this is my billion damage hitting Brett. Like, that's not going to be a thing. Bubba's pretty solid as well. Bubba can hit really strong with that. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank on the yellow one. I think it's the Zombie LA Knight plate. Whenever you use a yellow move, that you get yellow gem damage, and the yellow to, sorry, the purple to yellow skill plate. I think it's like It's Time Once Again, something like that. It's a little bit RNG based. It's a little bit clicky as it's been coined nowadays in terms of how many moves you're using, but I mean it's definitely solid, good enough for a trickster to get the job done. Again, not a great coachability or trainer for him. Maxine, top-notch fighter, top-notch trainer, absolutely amazing, especially if you have her moment, if you have her gear, if you have, like, she's one of those bells and whistles characters that the more that you have, the better she gets. Jade is good too. Solid fighter. I personally prefer Maxine. I would tell you Jade's mainly a CSS character these days. I know a lot of people love using her. They say that she's fast still, and that's all great and fine and dandy. It's just there's a weird dynamic with me and Jade at this point. With me and female showboat, right? So there's Jade, there's Maxine, there's Charlotte. That's kind of your top 3 female showboats right now. Charlotte's the quickest, but doesn't hit the hardest. Maxine typically hits the hardest, but isn't the quickest. And Jade kind of fits in the middle of both of those, right? So if you're talking strength-wise, Charlotte's 3 on a scale of 1, 2, and 3. And then speed-wise, she's number 1. Maxine's the opposite. Her power is number 1. Her speed's number 3. Jade kind of fits in at a 2 and a 2, right? So she's the dead center of either, but she's not the best at either. So that's kind of why I'm not really sold on wasting as much currency as this is for Jade Cargill. Is she good? Yeah, she's good. Is she strong? Yeah, she's strong. Is she fast? She's fast enough. Does she have like a game-changing anything? Not really. She's a CSS for most things. You're not really going to utilize her for most things moving forward. She still uses multiply gems and can be countered that way. She also doesn't really have a game-changing coach. Maxine does, especially if you have Regal, or if you want to use people that use power gems. Maxine has a much more usable coach than Jade, who's just a 30%er. Chelsea Green is a zombie Chelsea Green, that is a free character that we all just got last month. She goes up to 40% on green gem damage and multiply gems. Even if you're not using multi-gems, her green gem is better than Jade. So it's way too expensive for me to suggest to anyone that they should get this. I would not. Jacob Fatu, huge win for anyone's roster. If you were able to tune in to the Content Creator Christmas stream, you heard that he got my vote for Best Acrobat on the Year. I still very vocally stand by that. He has a bunch of movesets and a use case for every single one of his moves. Easily one of the strongest in the game. You could build an entire roster around this guy, and he just gets better and better when you add the gear, when you add the moments, when you add the skill plates, when you add the trainers, the coaches, the straps. Like, he just continues to get better and better, even though he really doesn't need any of it. And also not too bad of a training ability too. 2 MP, 60% gem damage, 75% silence damage. Like, he's pretty good. But that being said, with his price tag, I would not get it from how expensive he is, especially because they've made his shards available on other weekend prize walls. If you've listened to any of my other prize wall evaluations, I've almost always told you get his shards off of the prize wall if you haven't gotten him yet. So the idea that you would have to get a 6-star gold poster of him for this much on this prize wall, it just doesn't sit well with me. He's a great character and arguably one of the best, period. Forget on the year, just period. But I would not spend that much on him. Then there's Santa tokens, which, I mean, they really only come around once, maybe twice a year. So if you're looking to pump up your Santa, that's the way to go. And that's probably what I'm going to be doing here. There's some skill plates here. The down the hole rabbit skill plate is the one when you break 7 row breaks, you generate 22 black gems. If you didn't get that from the rabbit month or the Wyatt 6 month, that's probably going to make a return sometime soon. The Will of Cargill, I have gotten about a half dozen of these from talent ups and feuds and skill plate chests, so not really worth the investment here. The must-see headband skill plate is definitely not must-see. The only person I know that this works on is Trickster Trish, Canadian Trish, and I mean, at that point, if you already have her, she's good enough that you don't need this. This isn't going to make or break 50%. It isn't going to make or break you using Trish or not. If you're going to use her, you're going to use her. You don't need that to waste this much on the skill plate for it. The finery plate is good here. If you like building armor characters, the finery plate is great. I was looking at it, really was thinking maybe I'll get a second one. But the reality of the matter is if I already have one, I don't really need to get a second one. That should be the type of mentality that you have, because I don't think the likelihood of you using two finery plates at the same time with the 15 plus botch gems for the armor, it's just not going to be that consistent of a basis. There are gem damage straps here, 100 to 150%. The Champions chat guys, I believe Lee did a video on pulling 5 of these or 4 of these and only managed to hit 150 out of it. Even though it's 100, 130, and 150, I don't think he hit a single 130 actually. So not really, again, not worth the investment to me here. The idea that there's a 40 to 150, this is essentially just the same thing as the feud straps that we get. If you've hit 500 mil before, you're aware that the 150% on these are not very common. So the idea of spending 4,000 10 times, so 40,000 of this prize wall for a chance essentially at 150 strap for a class era combination that you don't even get to pick, it doesn't seem worth it. And the same goes for the move. Even though it is move damage, and this is the first time we're seeing 150% move damage, the likelihood that you hit one of those is so slim to none. This would be okay for like a cleanup section item. If you have, 12,000 left over after buying all your other stuff, maybe it's worth going to this part of the wall. There is the 6-star gold token bundle. If you're short on 6-star gold tokens, they are available. I would not suggest it. And then there are strap parts, there's metal bits, there's more TP, and there's more coins. So very typical econ related stuff. The TP, probably the savior of this whole thing. 200 presents for 6,000 TP. Very, very essential. So in regards to what I'm going to pick, I obviously, if you've seen my content, have Jey Uso already. There's no need to getting him. I have all of these characters, so there's no real need to getting them. And even if I didn't have them, I don't know that, again, this is me personally, I don't know that I would be inclined to taking any of them off of this wall. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to pick up as many Santa tokens as I can. Yes, for those of you that do watch my content, I'm sure you know at this point, my Santa is 6-star bronze. And even if I were to get every single one of these token bundles, it's still not enough to take him 6-star silver. But the next time that these will be available, I am hopeful that I should have enough to take him to 6-star silver. So that is the reasoning behind what I'm doing here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring home all of the Santa token bundles. All but one, actually, because I don't think I can get the 10th one. Yeah. Cannot get the 10th one there. We're at 7,654, 7,654 presents left. That's a funny number. So I think what I want to do is end up taking all of this TP. I don't really feel lucky enough that I'm going to get a 150 on one strap, and a 40 and a 60 aren't enough. 100 might help for one specific thing like Modern Striker, but the idea that I'm going to roll out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eras and the 6 classes and 150%, it's just so slim of a chance. So what I'm going to do is similar to what we did with the stocking. I'm going to go ahead and buy the rest of the econ out, and then we'll go over what I got. All right, so like we showed before, I ended up getting 9 of the 10 available Santa token bundles here, so 9,000 Santa Hogan tokens. I went ahead and spent 6,000 more presents on the TP bundles. That is 30,000 TP of every single color. And the remaining amount of presents that I had, I picked up 170 million coins. And you will see I have exactly one present left. So that is it for the present prize wall. We got 6 stockings, we got 1 present, and now we get on to the main event. We got the Candy Cane prize wall. So the Candy Cane prize wall gives us access to the Jey Uso Yeet gear. We also got the 150% gem, 150% move straps specifically for Jey Uso. We got a 4-piece affiliation for Santa Hogan, which is awesome for everyone that's looking forward to it. We did get access to another Yeet plate. I was not really interested in spending that much for it myself. The gear, fantastic for Jey. If you have him, he's already good enough without it. If you want him to be a boss battle carry, it is definitely something helpful for him. If you got Jey on Tuesday, you don't need a 150% for him specifically. You already have one. A move damage is a waste on him. He's not that great of a move damage character when you're talking about how good he is as a gem damage guy. The Hogan affiliation strap for Santa, I would suggest very heavily that if you have not gotten a affiliation for Santa, to walk away with this 4-piece. And even if you have a regular 2-piece, I think that you would definitely get a huge improvement to your roster walking away with a 4-piece affiliation for Santa. +1 to pretty much anyone in this game is huge. Huge, huge, huge wins. Massive benefit for most of your feud lineup. If you manage to max out the top of the tree leaderboard, you already got a Yeet plate. Whenever you make 6 or more column break gems, increase your gems by 500% for 1 turn. I would have loved to have gotten a second one of these, but like I was mentioning, it was not worth the additional investment. I had already committed to a couple of pulls for the faction benefit, as well as my own candy canes, and my RNG just was not good enough this time around, so no secondary Yeet plate for me. The Hulkamaniac plate you can get out of the Talon Up, not worth it. The Tama Chest plate we just had on the Showdown Weekend 1. It was about 2 megas, or just playing the Showdown. Not even remotely close to worth the amount of price tag that they're putting on it. The Let Me Talk to You skill plate, great plate, awesome for Kyrie, Terry Funk. Again, not worth this type of price tag. Shades of Reigns, not worth this type of price tag. You're going to see a very consistent trend here. The Buzzard's Beak, decent plate. Just had it on the recent prize wall for 25k. Very funny to me that the Tama Chest was 14k. Buzzard Beak was 25k. And here we are less than 2 weeks later. The Tama Chest is more expensive than the Buzzard Beak. So look forward to the Buzzard Beak hitting another prize wall in-game, hopefully for a cheaper amount. You can see it's the same price as the Unbreakable Crown. Crown is great, not worth spending that much money on. Nearing end, those are available in the Talon Up and the Feuds for the skill plate chests. No need to spend this type of candy cane on that. The Glowing Fate plate, solid for, subs for green gem characters, but again, very consistent trend here. These plates, while they are good, and the Tama Chest is game-changing for Julius. The Let Me Talk to You is game-changing for Kyrie and Funk. Hulkamaniac is awesome for Muscleman. Shades of Reigns definitely helps for Hall of Fame Andre if you have a drip plate for him, right? Like, Nearing End is awesome for Werewolf Ozzy and for a couple of other characters out there. There's definitely some huge wins here, but none of them that are worth the investment is what I would tell you. Now, Santa Hogan Running Wild, this is the Powerhouse Hogan Santa gear. That is a huge win for anyone that doesn't have it already. I will say, however, there is currently, as of the time of this recording, a ugly sweater event going on, and depending on how much you're going to spend on that, you will be able to get enough dollars, or Santa dollars, whatever they're calling them, for that prize wall to get this gear. This gear is also on that prize wall. So something to look into. Look at what you want to spend in regards to that event. You will need to spend on that event to get the Powerhouse Hogan gear. It's not something you're just going to walk away from. It's not like the Candy Canes, which was a faction event. Maybe you got lucky. Maybe you got enough that you could walk away with the affiliation and this gear, something along those lines. But this other event, the sweater one, that's a solo event. It's a spend event. There's really nothing else to it, right? So you got to make that decision for yourself if you want to get the gear off of one prize wall or the other. It's, again, what I do with these eval videos is try to give you the education for it, right? So make a smart decision when it comes to this gear. Hogan, with his new boost as of this December, goes up to 350% for all gem damage, is a significant bonus to how much damage he can do. I should hopefully, again, like I was talking about earlier, having a video on Britt come out. There should be a video on Powerhouse Hogan coming out here soon, which, again, huge shout out to the community for asking for these types of videos in the comment section. It's just been a very busy holiday time, so I haven't been able to make those videos, but they are on my list to make. So if you also want to see any type of content in the future, feel free to leave a comment in this video with who you'd like to see some gameplay of, and that is something I can gladly work out. Bianca's gear, definitely solid. This gives, I believe it's like +2 to multi-gems. She used to be great when you could put the drip on her and it was affected by all the moments and the trainers and the coaches and all that. Doesn't really help that much anymore. I'm just going to say the Joyous Predator gear. This is one that I've wanted for Orton for a long time because he's got that Omega armor build with that minus gem damage. I would really like to get this gear for the additional generation. That is also just a me thing. I enjoy trying to play outside of the box, and Orton definitely ticks the outside of the box for me and my enjoyment of the game. Yuletide Bex definitely helps if you don't have a Becky gear for Goat Becky. Either gives you all the MP or gives you some extra damage. Definitely not the end of the world if you're still using Goat Becky. She looks kind of interesting with all of her moments. Something I wanted to get a video of last feud, but with the 500 mil and with how hectic the end of the year has been, I didn't really have enough time to kind of play test her, but there's a good chance she can get some multiply gems that are over ×20s out there. So really curious to see what you can probably cook up with a fully decked out Goat Becky. All the gears, all the moments, all the bells and whistles per usual. And then there's shards. Let me be very kind when I say this. Unless getting one of these sets of shards or two of them is enough to close the gap on recruiting a character, I would tell you to stay very far away from the shards on this one. Because the value that there is and the rest of this wall, the gear for Uso if you have them, the affiliation for Santa, the Yeet Plate if you didn't get one of those, the Powerhouse Hogan gear, there's so much great value on this wall that picking up shards for characters that are typically on other prize walls really feels like a big time waste. And then again, we get down to the econ section, so very funny to me that your ultimate power strap is cheaper than your legendary strap. I guess because it's a specific modern era instead of any era. But these are also really bad. They have 30% move defense, no bonuses. Again, the top section, you're just looking at the 100% gem or move as the real boosts to these. So not great. This, I believe, has the affiliation chance on it, but again, you'll notice that it's the 4 eras here, so no PG, no RA, no reality. It's the rest of them and the classes, so maybe you get lucky to hit an affiliation, but the rest of this is entirely trash. Not worth the investment at all. Strap parts are here as well. You got some star fragments, all the striker upgrades because this is supposed to be for Jey Uso, so there's your striker tokens, some regular token chests, and some coins. So very weak cleanup crew section on this one, right? The cleanup crew on the other ones that had all those coins, TP, all that type of stuff, we're not going to be investing that much into this time around. So in regards to what I'm going to take, I'm definitely going to take the gear for Jey Uso. Makes him just an absolute freak of nature. Huge, huge, huge damage bonuses. I already have the Powerhouse Hogan gear, so there's no need for me to get it. If I didn't have it, I would have been inclined to spend more for it. I'm being very open, honest, and transparent there. I would have only been 10 away. after getting the 4-piece Santa Hogan affiliation. I was not incentivized to spend for another Yeet plate. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the 4-piece Santa affiliation, which might seem very weird to a lot of you. I know a lot of you have seen that I already have a 4-piece affiliation on Santa Hogan. That is an any Hogan affiliation. So I would like to have that open, whether it's for NWO, whether it's for Ghostbuster, whether it's for another Hogan in the future. I'd like to be able to be a little more flexible with my gameplay. And so I definitely think outside of everything else here, yeah, there's some good stuff, but even me, I'm going to go ahead and get the 4-piece affiliation for Santa Hogan specifically. And that also is an ultimate strap, not just a legendary strap. So definitely looking forward to messing around with that. We still have 590 left over. Like I was saying, I would have only been 10 short of the Powerhouse Hogan gear. So definitely would have gotten that, but I don't need it because I already have it. The one thing I will be getting as well, just because we're in the cleanup crew section of things, I don't have the Orton gear. As I alluded to earlier, I really would like the Orton gear just for some fun type of gameplay. Orton fits that fun category for me. So Orton will go ahead and get his gear. Everything else up here is too expensive for the remainder of what I have. Even the Glowing Fate plate, not worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and check the rest of my roster for what I'm missing. And I will take a quick little detour and I'll be right back to the wall. Alright, so I went ahead and checked, and it turns out that I actually have all 3 of these sweater gears and Santa's gear, so we're going to skip on those. The shards here, sure, I mean, I guess they're nice, but it's just shards. So it looks like I'm going to be using about 390 additional candy canes on some cleanup crew, but I don't even know that there's enough here on the cleanup crew for me to spend. No, this totals up to 280. And I said I had, what, 390? I guess I can do another 50 here. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm going to pick up all the cleanup crew items. And it looks like we're going to take a couple of these modern era straps. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. I don't really need hangers, and I'm not really kicking myself for not spending more money. Yeah, I'm gonna end up just biting the bullet here. We're gonna go ahead and take a modern era power strap. That is a stun immunity for showboats, so like I said, that's pretty horrible. And another one is a move defense for modern acro. So I mean, that's bad. There's no way of hiding it. That's just pretty bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and again just cut to the end here so y'all don't have to watch me click through all these buttons. All right, well, that's going to be it for me on the Candy Cane Prize Wall. So just to recap, we picked up the Yeet gear, we picked up the 4X affiliation for Santa Hogan, picked up the Orton gear as well, and we picked up those 2 modern era straps that we were talking about, and I went ahead and cleaned out all of the econ section. Even though it really wasn't that great, there was nothing else on here for me. I would have had to have spent quite a bit more from where I was at 390 to get all the way up to 1600 for another Yeet plate, but that was not worth it for me. And I know I skipped through the star fragments for those that were commenting before. Yeah, I hit a 200 powerhouse and a couple hundreds on technician, but everything else was either 20 or 40 on that. So that's going to be it for all of the 12 Jeys of Christmas prize walls, the stocking stuffers, the presents, and the candy canes. So a lot of prize wall content here, lots of information, lots of my own choices to I guess help guide you in regards to whatever it is that you might want to do, hopefully to educate you in regards to what your own decisions could and should be. But that's going to be it for this video, so I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you all for watching and sticking through it with me. If you liked the video, make sure to like it. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We did break an awesome milestone recently, so definitely looking forward to continue that climb, and hopefully we can hit 500 as the next milestone for the channel subscribers. Real quick, just click the button, right? Not that big a deal. Share this with all of your friends. I know that this is very late into the event. I don't really like doing these videos early because then people feel like they have to do what I suggest and what my educated answers are. And personally, I like to wait until the end of the event so I know how much prize wall that I have and what I can spend it on. And a prime example is this new wall has the Powerhouse Hogan gear, so maybe there was a reason for me to not get something on one of these walls because it's going to show up on another one in the future. So I know that it's typically short notice, and I do apologize for that, but I really feel like this is probably the best education that you can get in regards to these walls, and that is what I am here to provide to you. So leave some comments below. What did you get on all the walls? Did you feel like you didn't get enough prize wall? Did you feel like you got too much? Did you feel like you wanted to spend more and didn't? Do you feel like you spent too much? Definitely leave some comments below. There's lots to talk about in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, especially with the time of this recording, happy holidays to everyone that is still listening to my voice. I hope you all had a wonderful time and a blessed time with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. It is very well deserved, and you should enjoy that quality time with each other. So thank you all very much for listening on in, and until next time, everybody, have a good one.